In today's episode on the Art of Business, we're going to talk about one of the best kept secrets to building a valuable business. I like to call this the buyer in the boardroom strategy. And now I know what you're probably thinking. You're thinking, hey Art, my business isn't that big, so this one's probably not going to work for me. Well, let me tell you, even if your board meetings are held in the bathroom mirror or you only have a handful of key employees, putting this strategy into practice can literally double the value of your business over time. And I can promise you, after buying hundreds of businesses from less than $1 million to over 750, I can honestly say if you will consistently apply this one simple technique, it is guaranteed to increase the value of any business. Now, it won't be easy, but the more you do this, the easier it becomes. Welcome to the Art of Business. My name is Art Getz. Think of me as your sounding board and chief strategy officer on your journey to build a more valuable business. Folks, let me tell you, not counting the New York Stock Exchange IPO and making tens of millions of dollars, for me, the best part about being in the roll-up business was getting to dig into other people's businesses. And you just can't imagine the things I've seen on the inside. I'm not sure if it was good comedy or bad tragedy because owners will tell you the craziest things when they think you might pay them millions of dollars to take that business off their hands. But as the buyer, I was there with a very different agenda. We came in like a SWAT team. We kicked the tires, dug through the financials, met the leadership team, all to be sure we only picked the best companies to buy. We were hunting for platform companies that we could build on. Stay tuned because we're working on a great episode about the difference between a lily pad company and a platform. Let me tell you, if you are in business, it's literally life-changing information. And ironically, after buying about 200 companies, I realized I was actually learning more from the ones that we didn't buy than the ones that we did. And that's the sort of insights that we like to bring you on this channel. So if you're a business owner, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. You're going to love this because understanding the difference between the best and the rest provides a pretty clear roadmap to building a business that a good buyer will pay top dollar for. But you have to carve out the mental space to sort of step outside of your body and imagine, what if you were the buyer? What if you were about to write a big fat check to buy your own business? What would you be thinking? Firstly, you have to ask yourself, would you buy it at all? Now, that's a whole different question and a humbling and motivational place to get started. But if you did write a check and bought your business today, what would you do the day after closing? What's on your 30, 60, and 120-day plan? Of course you have one, right? Let me tell you, if you were the buyer, you darn sure would. And we did too. And I'll show you more details about what that looks like in a future episode of The Art of Business. But for now, when you learn to think like a buyer, it will impact every significant decision you make in your business. As a business owner, it is super important for you to understand why one business is worth 3 times earnings while another of the same size and industry gets paid 5 or 6 times earnings. Understanding this difference puts you and your business on a better trajectory for growth. And putting this knowledge into action can easily double the value of your business over time. Look, an average business buyer's got skills, knowledge, perspective, and resources that are well outside the wheelhouse of most owners. And in many cases, even their advisors. And with most transactions, by the time they close, the buyer knows substantially more about the future prospects for the business than the seller. That is a real shame because it also means that the seller left money on the table. So if you want to get the most value for your business, then you need to step back and start looking critically at the business with a focus on creating value that buyers are willing to pay top dollar for. I like to tell owners it's hard. Try your best to get out of your own way, switch off your founder's brain, and just ask what the buyer thinks. But be open-minded that you won't always see eye to eye with the buyer about what's best. If you can't do that, then pick an advisory board that you trust. And I'm going to talk more about the value of advisory boards and how to build yours in a future episode. The buyer's eyes will see things that you don't see. The buyer sees the things that you've learned to overlook. Simple things like thick dust on the boxes of old inventory. To you, it's a simple purchasing mistake that you'd rather forget, but to the buyer, it's a working capital adjustment at closing and not in your favor. The buyer knows if this was productive inventory, there'd be no dust. The buyer knows to terminate low margin customers because you just can't make up for low margins with increased volume. So the next time you're having a meeting with your leadership team, leave an empty seat at the table for this unpaid expert on business valuation. The buyer will help you build your successful business for free. If you do this right, I promise you they will pay you way more for your business in the future. Folks, if you like this content, please subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends. We're going to be bringing you more great ideas and insights on how to grow your valuable business now and in the future.